Every year, millions of people write New Year's resolutions, and every year, about 92% of them fail. Gym memberships spike in January, and by February, the same gyms are empty. People buy planners, notebooks, vision boards, but most of them never use them after the first week. So the real question is, if we all want to become better, healthier, and more successful, why do most resolutions fail? Why do we repeat the same cycle year after year? And more importantly, how do you become part of the 8% who actually stick to their goals? Well, that's exactly what this video is about. So get comfortable because we're about to break down the real psychology behind resolutions and the simple science-backed steps that finally make your goals stick. So every December, something interesting happens. We start believing that the new year magically transforms us. We think January 1st, that's when I'll change. But here's the truth. A date doesn't change you, your habits do. The new year becomes this fantasy, a reset button, a fresh chapter. And because of that, we create massive goals. I'll wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I'll go to the gym 6 days a week. I'll stop procrastinating forever. I'll save half of my income. These goals aren't bad, they're just unrealistic for your current lifestyle. We think future us is somehow stronger, more disciplined, more motivated. But future us is still us. Same routines, same environment, same habits. So when January hits and our lifestyle hasn't prepared us for these big changes, we crash. This is the first reason resolutions fail. They rely on motivation, not systems. Now let's talk psychology. At the beginning of the year, motivation is sky high. Fireworks, vision boards, new planners, clean rooms, fresh energy. But motivation has one fatal problem. It doesn't last. Studies show that motivation fades dramatically after the first 7 to 14 days, which is exactly when most people quit. If your goals depend on you feeling motivated, you're in trouble. Because real life eventually shows up. Stress, school, work, fatigue, mood swings, responsibilities. And when life hits, motivation disappears. What you're left with is your habits or your lack of them. This is the second reason resolutions fail. People rely on motivation instead of building identity-based habits. Another big reason people fail, they set massive, overwhelming goals. For example, instead of walk 10 minutes, they say, I'll run 5 kilometers every morning. Instead of read 1 page, they say, I'll read 1 book every week. Instead of sleep at 11 p.m., they say, no more late nights ever again. On paper, those goals sound inspiring, but in reality, they're exhausting. Dramatic goals feel good to set, but impossible to stick to. Your brain is built to save energy. It hates big, sudden changes. So when you try to force yourself into a completely different lifestyle overnight, your brain resists, you feel burned out, you feel like a failure, and eventually you quit. This creates a cycle. Set a huge goal, fail, feel guilty, give up, repeat next year. This is why tiny goals, ridiculously tiny, actually work better. And let me ask you something. If your goal is to get fit, is that a goal or a wish? Because goals without systems are just wishes. Get fit is not a system. Eat healthier is not a system. Be more productive is not a system. Systems look like this. I'll do a 10-minute workout every morning at 7 a.m. I'll drink a glass of water before each meal. I'll tidy up for 5 minutes before bed. I'll write tomorrow's to-do list at 9 p.m. every night. Systems turn intentions into actions. Without systems, goals stay goals and nothing happens. This is another reason resolutions fail. People focus on outcomes, not processes. And here's another psychology fact. What gets measured gets improved. People set goals but never track their progress. Tracking gives you momentum, dopamine boost, proof that you're growing, and motivation during low energy days. But most people don't track anything. They rely on memory, which is not reliable at all. The truth is, if you don't measure your habits, you won't stick to them. Even simple tracking works, like crossing off days on a calendar, checking boxes in a habit tracking app, writing done in a notebook. Anything that tells your brain you did it, keep going. Now this one is huge. Most people set 10 to 20 goals for the new year, but the human brain can only handle a few changes at a time. So when you try to eat healthy, exercise daily, meditate, study more, wake up early, read every night, stop using your phone, journal every day, cook at home, save money, you overload your willpower. You spread your energy too thin and eventually everything collapses. Real transformation doesn't come from changing 20 things at once. It comes from changing one thing that changes everything. The domino habit, the keystone habit. Once that one habit sticks, it naturally creates momentum for others. And here's the deepest reason resolutions fail. People try to change their actions without changing their identity. For example, I want to run more, but you don't see yourself as a runner. I want to read more, but you still believe you're not a reader. I want to be productive, but you identify as a procrastinator. Actions come from identity. Identity comes from beliefs, and if the belief doesn't change, the behavior won't last. Instead of saying, I want to read more, say, I am a reader. Instead of saying, I want to exercise, say, I'm someone who moves daily. Identity-based habits stick because you're not forcing yourself, you're becoming the kind of person who naturally does the habit. This is what actually changes your life. Now, shift solutions. The blueprint that makes goals stick. Here's a simple, science-backed method you can use to actually follow through with your goals this year. Step 1, pick only one keystone goal. Choose one habit that impacts many areas of your life. For example, daily 10-minute exercise, sleeping at a consistent time, reading 5 pages, journaling, planning your day. Pick one, master that, then move to the next. Step 2, make it stupidly small. Don't start with 10-kilometer ones, start with a 5-minute walk. Don't start with an hour of studying, start with 5 minutes. Micro habits beat big goals every time. Step 3, build a system, not a wish. Turn your goal into a schedule. When X happens, I do Y. For example, after brushing my teeth, I meditate for 2 minutes. At 9 p.m., I prepare my to-do list. When I wake up, I drink water. Consistency beats intensity. Step 4, track everything. Use a calendar, a habit tracker app, a notebook, a simple checklist. Seeing your progress keeps you moving. Step 5, prepare for the worst days. You'll have low energy days. Life happens. You get tired, you get busy. So instead of quitting, have a minimum version of your habit. For example, if you can't walk 10 minutes, walk 2 minutes. If you can't read 5 pages, read 1 page. If you can't journal fully, write 1 sentence. A small version keeps the habit alive. Step 6, identity first, results later. Say your new identity out loud. I'm a person who shows up daily. I'm someone who takes care of my body. I'm a disciplined person. The more you repeat it, the more your brain believes it. Actions follow identity always. Step 7, review monthly, not yearly. Don't wait for the next new year to adjust your goals. Every month, check in what worked, what didn't, what can I modify. You don't need a new year to restart. You can restart every 30 days. So, most people failed their resolutions because they try to change too fast, too big, and with too much pressure. But you're not most people. If you focus on identity, systems, micro habits, and consistency, you won't just hit your goals, you'll become the kind of person who naturally achieves them. This year isn't about the date. It's about who you choose to become. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.